Peter Pan syndrome is like a huge thing out there. He wrote me an entire song just off like a 10-minute conversation we had about like my goals, because at the time I wanted to pursue the Olympics and run professionally, and so he wrote me a whole song about like pursuing that and with his AI. And if I could go back in time now with the mental like mindset I have now, I would have crushed it. I was unfortunately raped at a young age. I could have like a pity mindset, but instead I grew from it and I learned from it, and I was like, no, like how can I come out on top from this? So in a way I was kind of blessed because I don't remember it happening. So I know it happened because like I remember being conscious and like waking up there and being like, what the fuck? When I get drunk, like I don't have thoughts or evil thoughts. I don't think to do evil things. I don't get angry. Like I think it brings out like a side of people, and they like to use the alcohol to mask it. I just think alcohol is way too normalized in our society, and it's easy to fall into that norm when it's like at the end of the day it's poison. My grandma is also an alcoholic. I have no enemies. Like I do not have people I hate. Like because I understand why people do the things that they do. I'm not really in tune a lot of times with malicious intent that people have. And like that case in point was what we touched up on earlier. Just like me doing everything very genuinely and very like authentically, the world doesn't reciprocate that in today's day and age, and they see that and they use that to their advantage. I don't want to call myself pretty or objectively like anything, but people will see my life on Instagram, which is a fake app. People coming in my life just to like literally like fuck me over so hard. I've always been very gifted at like anything I did athletically, like I always kind of like got good at it. Being homeless is probably like a stretch. I go in my room and I lock the door. That fucking sets her off. She's like, how dare you lock the door in my own house? Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not even paying rent. For you to lock my own door is crazy.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, along here with my co-host, Mohammed Molai. And today we got a special guest for the show. This is Skylar. Skylar, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, your name, what you do, and your star sign.
Hi guys, my name is Skylar. I currently work on boats. I'm a deckhand trying to get my captain's license to eventually be a yacht broker, and I'm an Aquarius.
Aquarius?
Yes.
Interesting.
Ooh.
I did not expect that from you.
And why is that interesting? Now I'm intrigued.
Aquarius are very fun.
Yes.
But a little bit dangerous. Wait, why did you smile when I said dangerous?
You know, I wouldn't say I'm dangerous. I honestly think I lean more for the fun side 100%, but I don't know. There could be some danger lurking down below.
What did I tell you about bringing toxic people onto the show?
Well, ironically, you're the one who are.
That's funny. Okay, so I actually have a really funny Aquarius story. I'm going to tell you in a second. But first, so tell us a little bit about your dating experience. Okay. How's it been in San Diego? Any awkward dates? Any great dates? Any funny stories you have from dating? Okay,
my dating experience. So I was living in Kauai for the past year. That is a more interesting dating experience than I would say San Diego. But since moving back, I honestly haven't really been in the scene much. Peter Pan syndrome is like a huge thing out there, and like a lot of the people that I used to know before I moved to Kauai, just like who gave me no time of day, are now like blowing up my phone, and I'm just like, I don't really care to entertain it or prioritize it. I'm kind of just really focused on my goals and my passions right now. And I think like what I've done wrong my entire life is I've always been looking for something. So for once in my life, I want to be like, you know, I'm going to prioritize myself. I'm going to pour into me, and hopefully the right man will come through me working on myself. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Explain to people what you mean by Peter Pan syndrome. I don't know if everybody knows what that means.
So what I personally mean by Peter Pan syndrome is just like people not wanting to grow up. Basically, you have I've talked to a variety of different ages, and just from all age spans, I feel like we live in a day and age where just everything's so accessible that when they have something so real in front of them, they can't really like rationalize that and see that what they have is like real. And they just, I don't know, there's just a lot of playing games. There's a lot of just like no commitment. Just that's at least what I've seen firsthand. But again, that also might have to do with some self-reflection and the people I attract. But just in common with my girlfriends as well, just no one really is serious. Like, I feel like hookup culture is so normalized nowadays that that's just what most people who are going out in that atmosphere are looking for. So I would say that's just kind of the common consumption I have.
I see. Yeah, speaking of mind games, You want to hear the most genius mind game a girl ever played on me?
Ooh,
it was
I'm
an
ready.
Aquarius too.
Okay.
It was my Aquarius.
Might need to take note.
By the way, if you're ever like seeing a guy and you want to find out if he's secretly seeing other girls too, this trick is fucking mad.
Okay, bet.
So I'm on a date. I've been on this with this Aquarius for like 3 dates.
Okay.
And we're sitting there at Catch, and she seems like the most sweetest little innocent angel. Everything's good. But then, out of the corner of my eye, I see my ex. And she's walking over toward us. Okay. And this is like my fiery ex. Yeah. This is like my Scorpio ex.
This is like she doesn't play.
And I'm like, oh, geez, what is she going to do this time? You know what I mean?
With me.
So she walks over. Oh, my God. Hey, I just saw you wanted to say hi. She gives me a hug, but it's like a little too long. You know what I mean? Where it's like a long hug. And I'm feeling awkward. My date is sitting right there, right? So I'm like, okay. I introduce them, but I don't tell my date that it's my ex. Okay. I'm just like, oh, this is Lynn, my friend, whatever. Yeah, right? But then all of a sudden they like hit it off. Like, oh my God, I love your dress. And apparently they've like worked
the girls are bonding.
Yeah, they've like know the same people. They've worked with the same photographers. And I'm like, this is weird, you know? But they never exchange contact information. Okay. So I think I'm good. I think I'm in the clear. But then the next day, I get a knock on the door. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go downstairs, open the door. Nobody's there. I look down, and there's this big bouquet of flowers on my doorstep. I'm like, what the fuck? So I pick up the card. I open it up, and there's no name on the card. It's just a smiley face. And not the emoji smiley face, like the two dots and the fucking like sociopath smiley face. Yeah. And so I'm like, are my friends pranking me? Like, is my mom being weird again?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah. But then I look closer and I notice that they're French tulips. And I remember the Aquarius on the first date told me her favorite flowers are French tulips. Oh. So I FaceTime her. Yeah. She picks up. She's with her friend. I'm like, yo, I just want to say thank you so much for the flowers. Like, that was very thoughtful of you. And her and her friend look at each other. And they start dying laughing. And I'm like, what?
What's going on?
And her friend is like, you passed the test, Zach. You passed it. I'm like, what test? She's like, no, don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Just tell me. And she's like, okay, I wanted to see if you're still seeing the girl from last night. So I sent you anonymous flowers. Wow. If you knew they were from me, it means you're only seeing me. If you didn't, it means you're seeing other girls. I
literally have to applaud her for that. Like, what an educated diva. I'm so stealing that.
I was literally like, that was genius. I was like, how did you know that was my ex? Because I never told her. Oh, yeah. And she points at the camera and she goes, Zach, Aquarius know everything. Never forget it. And she starts like dying laughing.
Honestly, I feel like I've stepped into that in tune part of being an Aquarius, because I definitely, as I was mentioning previously, so unaware, just very gullible. But I feel like I'm finally, hopefully knock on wood, but I feel like I'm finally getting in tune with myself to where I can know everything. Hopefully,
tell us
in the most humble way.
Tell us the story about the Hawaii guy who tricked you for maybe a little bit until you got your friend to help you out.
So basically, it's just a funny story to begin with, because I had met him by going over to his house with the guy I was talking to, and he had already like previously mentioned just being like, oh, like I don't really know this guy, just like a heads up, we're just going here to like produce, because he's a DJ. So he was like making a set for an upcoming show he was going to be on. So fast forward, we're at this house, and I get like this tour of this like beautiful house, and he's like describing like the architecture and everything. And as he's giving me the tour, he's just like telling me he's like this crazy like producer, and that he uses like he created an AI company to produce. And he just like goes on the list of things, tells me all these people he ghostwrites for. And again, because I just like I just take things surface level. Like if you're gonna tell me something, I don't have any reason to think you're lying to me. Now I know better, but I'm like, okay, cool. That's super cool. That makes sense why you're living in like a house like this. And so fast forward, I don't talk to him after that, and he's like blowing up my phone, just like basically just saying a bunch of crazy shit. He wrote me an entire song just off like a 10-minute conversation we had about like my goals, because at the time I wanted to pursue the Olympics and run professionally. And so he wrote me a whole song about like pursuing that, and with his AI, and he wrote me like an entire album. So I was like, okay, like so random but cool. And then basically she came to visit me on island. I was like, you know what, we should stay at his house. Like, it's super nice. And it was on the way to a party that we were trying to go to. So we go and we stay there, and Arden starts getting to talk with him. And the things that he's telling Arden weren't matching up with the things that he was telling me. Like, he was kind of getting caught in his lies. Like, he was telling me these people he ghostwrited for, but now for Arden, it's like different people. And it's just like, he's just saying a lot more to flex, to make himself like this grand guy, that he wasn't really doing as much with me. So Arden immediately is like, he's full of shit. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, gosh. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, she's like, no, like, I just know it. And basically, I forgot how we ended up finding out, but from my knowledge, I don't know if it's 100% true. Like, I haven't spoken to him since, because like, he just like ended up blowing up on me because we left with like these other people that we met there. And like, it was a whole fiasco in that ordeal of things. But we basically find out through just like Kauai's very small, like, word of mouth kind of thing, that the house that he's staying in is his mother's, and his mom has like dementia and she's in a home, and so it's none of that money's his, it's all his mom's. And he's just like acting like it's his, and like just lying and putting on this act for like the people who live there, and it's like he doesn't actually do anything. That was the long story short. But yeah, he definitely still goes on that little rampage telling people that. Yeah
it's like whenever stuff, that's what I figured out, like in LA, it's like whenever stuff doesn't quite add up, and it's like, wait, but why would this happen with, it's like, yeah, it's probably bullshit.
100%.
Like 90% of the time. It's like,
100%.
Yeah. Awesome. Go ahead.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself growing up? Where did you grow up? What did you do? So on and so forth.
Yeah, so I was born in Laguna. My father works at the Olympic Training Center. He got offered a job, which is down Chula Vista. So he moved us from Orange County down to Chula Vista. He wasn't a big fan of the Chula Vista area, so he moved us up to North County, Carlsbad area. And so I come from a huge, crazy track family. My father's an Olympic gold medalist. He won gold in the 1984 Olympics. And then my aunt is a 6-time Olympic medalist. So track has kind of always been shoved down my throat for the longest time. And because of like my family and their legacy, I was like, fuck no, I'm gonna do everything but track. So I tried soccer, I did gymnastics, I did cheerleading. I wanted to veer so far away from it for as long as I could. And then eventually it's my senior year, and my dad's like, I want you to do track for reals. Like, I want you to take it serious, and I want you to try hurdles. I'm like, I can barely walk without eating shit, but yeah, like, let me run at something full speed and see how that goes.
The one event that takes like the most amount of skill, and not just like being athletic.
Exactly.
Like the one event. Yeah.
No, 100%. But I'm like, all right, let's try it out. And he just got so damn lucky that I, loved it. It, like, nothing felt more natural to me than that event. I was still very new to it. It was still a foreign concept to me, but I fell in love with the event, and I was relatively good at it. So all like in a span of a year, because like I never thought I was going to go D1. That wasn't my passion. I didn't even think about being a college athlete. I always wanted to pursue like interior design or do something with architecture. That was kind of always my thought process. But everything kind of just happened so quickly, and like that I was getting offers, and I had an amazing experience with the coach who recruited me, and I had gotten dead last at this track meet, like absolutely rolled. Like my dad's literally cussing me out. He's like, what the hell was that? Like, and it was a super important track meet where a bunch of college coaches were there, and this coach saw me, Coach Ernie, and he came up to me and he recruited me from that meet. And fast forward, I signed and I ended up going D1 to a university up in Northern California for about 2 years. And then I had an experience happen there that made me want to take a gap year and kind of just reassess what I wanted to do with my life. And then that's when I moved to Kauai, and Kauai is kind of where everything fell into place for me, and I really found myself as a woman and just like my passions, my goals, and everything I wanted to do with my life. So yeah.
Why did you fight taking on your legacy for so long?
In all honesty, I think it was just because I was scared I would never be able to live up to that standard. You know, like people would see my last name and automatically attach me to like some of the greatest of all time. Like it's Joyner's like a household name in track and field. So I think it was just more a mindset thing and just me getting in my head a lot. I'm a huge overthinker, and I'm always like overthinking. And for the longest time, I would set really like low standards for myself, and I just like truly didn't think that I could do something to that magnitude, and I just would get in my head. And I always say track is like 75% mental, 25% actual physical capability, and that was always what held me back in that sport. My mental was just never fully there. And if I could go back in time now with the mental like mindset I have now, I would have crushed it. I 100% would have like, I don't know where I'd be, but I unfortunately at the time, just like the way I grew up and just like the trauma I endured like throughout my childhood, I didn't realize how much it affected me until I took a break and stepped away from the sport. And I was like, wow, like I had so many limitations that I didn't need to have. And it was all by my own doing.
What trauma did you endure during your childhood?
So where do I even begin?
From the first trauma.
From the first trauma. Let's see. Well, I was unfortunately raped at a young age, and I think that like really messed with my mindset just growing up. I had divorced parents, so my dad, he was like the strict military father, but he also was never there because he was in the prime of his coaching, so he would hire nannies. So I also didn't have full custody with our mother because she was an alcoholic. So we were staying with these nannies who didn't give a fuck about us, one. But two, when my mom finally did get custody, she lied to the court system and just made it seem like she was a sober parent, but she was still drinking. So I would always like, whenever I saw that bottle come out, I would leave. I would be out in the park. I'd be out just, you know, kind of doing my own thing. And I just got involved with the wrong people at a very young age, just being down in Chula Vista and just like, the hours that I'd be leaving the house. And so that happened to me when I was like in middle school, and just throughout from middle school to there, I feel like a lot more of sexual trauma kind of followed. Not anything to that magnitude. That was like a crazy thing that happened to me. But then at my university, something also occurred as well. And that was like another fundamental, but that would be like the pivotal one that like really, I think, kind of changed my mindset and the way I viewed life.
What happened in college?
Yeah. So I was injured. I had to redshirt my freshman season, so I was super depressed because I go to this university to run track, and the second I get there, I'm like, well, I can't run. I have to get surgery on my toe. So my season's gone like that. And I started getting really close with one of my fellow teammates, and I literally considered this kid like a brother. Like, I would ride for this man. I like had so much faith in him. We told each other everything. We just had a very close bond. And with that, I had a very strict rule at my with my teammates. Like, I don't get with teammates. I think it's too messy. Like, it's a co-ed sport. We have to see each other every day. I saw it happen within my own team of my own teammates getting with each other, and just like the drama that ensued, and I never wanted anything to do with it. But of course, like, people would still try. They'd flirt. They do little things. But I feel like majority of the team, at least like halfway through first semester, knew like they're not, like, no one's going to be able to get with me. But this kid, I think that he didn't want that to be the answer or the outcome. So he took the route of getting as close as he can to me to make me as vulnerable as possible. And so just a normal day, we lived in the athletic dorm, so it was co-ed. So the track dorm room lived like directly under on the bottom floor of where I lived. So I'd be over in their dorm room all the time, like with my other teammates too. And it was just a similar day. He asked me to come down, and something weird about this time was normally his other roommate was in there, and like his other roommates to this day we're still best friends. Like, we're family friends. Like, my dad knows his dad. Like, our families are like, he's a very trusted source. He wasn't in there. And I later found out that it's because the kid had texted him like, oh, I'm finally gonna get Skylar, like, clear the dorm room, like something along those lines basically. And so we're in here, and he basically just like, he goes to like give me a hug, and like he just fully like reaches down my pants, just like gropes my ass, like tries to start fingering me, just like out of like nowhere, out of left wing. And I'm just like in complete and utter disbelief, pull his hands out, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And I just like storm out of my room, and I left. And it just really, I think the reason why this one fucked me up the most is because like I genuinely would have never thought he would have done something like that. Like, I trusted this kid so much, and he knew about previous things that have happened to me like throughout my childhood, and just like even recently, like in my college era as well. And just like, I think that's what fucked me up so much, because like I genuinely, like, to this day, and I'll never know why he did it. I can like make assumptions, but like he threw away like what I thought was such a real friendship just to fucking grab my ass. good for you, buddy. And it really fucked me up because I was already like not doing well because I was injured. So I was worried about how my comeback to track was going to look like. And then on top of it, I had something happen with a teammate on my team. And now I'm like, well, fuck, now I have to tell my coaches, and just everything kind of domino, I don't even know, it just all kind of came crashing down at once. And I came back home, and me and my dad just like really butt heads on the matter because my dad just like already reaching that status. He's the type that like, okay, use that to your advantage, push past it. Like, yeah, like keep going. But I'm like, I'm an empath. Like I feel things very deeply. Like I really need time to like actually process this. Cause that's what I do. Like, this is when it hit me. Like that's all I've done my entire childhood. Like I will just like deal with traumatic things and be like, okay, I'm good. Like, let's keep going. But this is the first time where I was like, I really need to like confront like what happened to me, or else this is just going to like continue to build and build. And my dad just didn't really understand that. He wanted me to like immediately go back to D1. He was already talking to coaches. And so that's when I was like, I'm going to take a gap year for myself and I'm going to move to Kauai. And so I moved to Kauai like so broken. Like I was at just such a low part in my life, and the island helped shape me to being who I am now. But yeah, that's long story. Well, that was a long story, but.
You said that, did you end up telling the coaches or anybody?
Yeah, so I did end up going forward to my coaches about it, and the way it went down, because after it happened, I just like immediately went back home, and so I told my dad, but my dad is good friends with our coaches, so I was like, I just need some time to like process this before this becomes like everything it's about to become. Like when I'm ready, I'll tell my coaches. My dad completely ignored that. He called my coach, and then one morning he's waking me up, phone in my face, like, here, you need to talk to your coach. And I'm like, dude, you did the one thing I asked you not to. Like, I'm not ready to like talk about this yet. So my coach is on the phone. He's like, I'm hearing like you got sexually assaulted. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, okay, let's do this. So I tell him, and then they get Title IX involved. And basically at this point, like he was already not in the school system, so the school couldn't do anything about it. And then Title IX was basically like, well, like if you want to pursue legal action, like it's going to take a year for it to get into the court. And I was like, I don't want to deal with this for a whole nother year. Like I just want to move past it. So I just dropped it. And like, I've never shared really that story publicly except for right now. People who know me in my intimate circle know, and like, I'm very open about it, but it definitely was a humbling and like eye-opening experience, because even after the fact, seeing how my coaches kind of treated me was a little interesting. I feel like they really diminished the situation, and I don't know, it was a weird experience as a whole, just because like, I don't know, I just trusted this kid so much. But yeah. Why
do you think that your coaches diminished the situation of you getting sexually assaulted by another player?
To be honest, at this point, like, I was dead weight to them, if I'm being for real. Like, I'm an injured athlete. Like, I'm not bringing them money. Like, it comes back to that whole, like, it's a business now in the sports industry. It's not about the love of the game anymore. So I think that at the end of the day, like, I wasn't one of their star athletes. I wasn't someone who was like in their prime. Like, it happened to me and I was already so rock bottom that to them it was just like they lost 2 people but now more scholarship money, you know. That's kind of just like, that's how it felt to me on the back end of things, you know. Like, and a point can be said that like they did like provide resources, but I just feel like with like the magnitude of what happened, like it just didn't seem like they really, like, I don't know. It didn't seem, I don't know, me as a coach, like if I knew something like that happened to one of my teammates, like I'd be checking in on them. I'd be making sure they're good, they have the resources they need. I didn't really get that from my coaches. Yeah. At least the head coach who was there.
It's interesting though, because all the stuff you went through, right? I feel like most people who go through this kind of thing come out the other side a little bit jaded, a little bit negative, but like I don't sense that energy on you at all. Like it feels like you like grew from it. And
yeah,
you, like,
I was gonna say, like, it took me a really long time, but I'm so thankful that it happened to me, just because, like I previously mentioned, I was very naive, and I'm a firm believer of everything happens for a reason, and like we get provided lessons multiple times in life, and it takes like one of them to really just like hit home for you, for it to really like connect. And I don't know, it made me who I am, you know? Like, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have moved to Kauai, and I wouldn't have lived the life that I got to live and experience in Kauai. And even though it doesn't excuse what he did, like, I did find myself in it through a lot of ways. And it taught me so much about myself and just, like, the world in general. And I don't know, I've always been a very positive and optimistic person just because, like, I'm a testament to it. Like, I hit fucking rock bottom. Like, I've had some crazy rock bottoms where I thought there was no way of getting out of this, but the light always comes at the end of the tunnel. And so I just think that it really helped instill that mindset that, like, you will get over this and, like, you will become better from it. And I also believe that through everything we experience in life, you can either view it as a negative or you can learn and grow from it. And that was a huge fundamental thing where I was like, I can be, pity me, you guys, like, this happened to me, like, everyone feel bad for me, like, oh my gosh, I didn't get to experience being a D1 athlete because, like, my friend sexually assaulted me. Like, I could have, like, a pity mindset, but instead I grew from it and I learned from it. And I was like, no, like, how can I come out on top from this? So I'm thankful for it at the end of the day, honestly.
I mean, there are two types of people. There are type of people who allow their pain to control them versus the other types of people who control the pain. And so I think majority of the time you could see that the type of person who allows their pain to control them ends up just broken and it's so visible and so obvious from the outside perspective versus people who are capable of controlling their own pain and their trauma and their past. They always end up creating this sort of environment around them that other people can sort of feed off of their positivity, which is obviously a much better way of dealing with life.
Yeah, of course.
Did you said that in middle school, when you were in middle school, that's the first time that you got raped?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So that was just, I was hanging out with the wrong kids at a very young age. So anytime my mom would drink and see that bottle come out, I would go outside, and I lived where there was, like, this playground in the middle of, like, my neighborhood complex. I didn't know at the time, but, like, that was, like, the drug spot, you know, like, that's where, like, they're all meeting up, like, that's the place to be.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, I'm like, hi guys, like, and
wanna play?
No, literally, case in point. So I'm just like this
funny.
naive little girl, just like, dude, like, these kids seem sick, like, what are they smoking? Like, let me just post up with these guys. And obviously, like, from a young age, like, I'm thinking these people bringing me in, like, because I'm telling them, like, yeah, I'm running basically away from my drunk mom right now. I'm thinking that it's in a, like, oh, like, they're here to, like, comfort me, but, like, it was fully them just, like, taking advantage of, like, me being young. They were older, like, about to graduate high school, you know. So that just happened one night. My first time ever drinking, just got super fucked up, and yeah, bada bing bada boom, just found myself in there. And then I was so, like, I don't know, it's still all a blur to me just because, like, I was so fucked up, but, like, I know what happened. Like, I hadn't had sex before that, like, everything, like, I just know.
Sure.
You know. And so, but again, like, in a way I was kind of blessed because I don't remember it happening. So I know it happened because, like, I remember being conscious and, like, waking up there and being like, what the fuck? But I think that not remembering a lot of it is a really good benefit to my childhood, like, because I don't have, like, the traumatic, like I can insinuate what happened, you know, but like I don't remember. So
do you feel like having, like, a very tough, strict father, like, obviously there's, like, pros and cons, do you feel like that helped you get through everything because you were tough because of him, or do you think that, like, added to the trauma more?
Honestly, it's like 50-50 because growing up, I didn't have the relationship or dynamic with my dad where I could tell him, like, hey dad, like, while I was away with my mom, like, I got raped. Because for him, in his mind, he'd be like, oh, I can use that against their mother, I can get full custody of my kids.
I see.
So, like, he was in such a war mindset with my mom, like, they both were, like, anything I told my mom about my dad, she would use in court, vice versa. And, like, they were just so at war with each other that that was one narrative to it. But also, my dad's super old school, and, like, case in point with, like, everything that happened more recently with something that wasn't even to the same degree, and seeing how he initially reacted with that whole situation, I'm so grateful. Like, he didn't know, he still doesn't really know, but I think that it kind of made me I don't know. I think him being so strict also, it sucks that I felt like I couldn't tell him, like, I feel like that's something I'd want to, like, go to my dad to, but I always was so scared of, like, what that would insinuate. So I never had that kind of relationship to where I felt safe enough, or not safe enough, but just, like, I just don't know what me telling him would insinuate other than me getting shamed, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, my father was very old school as well.
Yeah.
Probably, it sounds like yours was even more than mine was. But Wisconsin values very, like, therapy, like, go do push-ups in the snow.
Yeah.
Actually, one time it was funny. I was walking home from class. I'm walking this girl home because I had a huge crush on her. And I'm, like, trying to be cool. I'm walking on the street. And I just hear, Zach. I turn back. It's my dad in his fucking car.
No.
And he's like driving up beside us with the window down. He's like, Zach, come here. And I'm like, this is so embarrassing. So I pretend like I don't know. I don't hear him, right? And he's like, Zach, come here. And I'm like, oh, hey, Dad, I'll see you back at home. I'm like,
you like that, baby?
Then he starts laying on the horn. Zach, get over here. I'm like, fuck. So I go over, the girl's like fucking traumatized. Yeah. I'm like, Dad, what? And he's like, he gets all like serious, right? He's like, son, when you walk on the street with a woman, and he would never say girl, when you walk on the street with a woman, you walk on the car side, and if a car comes, you protect her. I'm like, Dad, just tell me when we get home.
Yeah, like you didn't have to call me
And he looks at me and he goes, but now you'll remember it forever. And I fucking did.
Yeah, that is true.
Every time now I'm on the street with the girl, if I'm at dinner with the girl, opening the door, I'm like my dad is in my fucking head.
Yeah, no, 100%. I've had my fair share of my dad, like, literally just, like, crashing parties and, like, coming and, like, humiliating me. And at the time, I'm like, oh, my gosh. But, like, yeah, it definitely instills it. Have to have a little embarrassment thrown in there.
Yeah, my dad, once my little brother was, like, they had these, like, workouts for football that they were supposed to... It was like optional, but to my dad, they weren't optional. It's like, no, you're going to the football workouts or whatever. And my brother slept over at his friend's house. And so my dad is like trying to like get in touch with him, and he's like still asleep from the sleepover. And so at like 6 a.m., he just like drives my brother's friend's house and just walks in the door and just like, I don't know if I think he went onto the back. Like, I don't know if it wasn't locked or whatever. And like literally wakes up my brother, and my brother looks up like,
he's like,
what
what's
the fuck
going
are you
on?
doing here?
Like,
and he's like, you got practice. Let's go. Like, you like get in the car,
Yeah, sounds like my dad.
Yeah. And
they'd probably be best friends.
I don't know. Girls always say that's why I have like trouble connecting with my emotions. But I'm like, no, actually, I'm glad that he was like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd much rather have that than like the dad who doesn't give a fuck.
No,
and is, like, never there.
And I can say now, like, where I'm at in my day and age, like, me and my dad still butt heads all the time. I think we just forever will, because as much as he doesn't like to admit it, I am literally him in female form. But I like am grateful for the way he raised me, even though at the time, like, I was so resentful in high school. Like, my senior quote was, "I'm sorry, I can't, I'm grounded," because that's literally all I was known for. Like, you saw me at a party, it's like, what is Skylar doing here? Like, I'll let her out of the house, But I think, like, I learned so much in that alone time that I had, just like either playing fucking video games or just being at the house and not going out in high school. And I don't know, just everything he instilled in me from a young age, I'm now seeing like
flourish.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. How's your relationship with your mom?
So that's an interesting one. She unfortunately is an alcoholic, and she has been my entire life, and I love her so much. And again, like, because I empathize with her, I understand that like the things she says and does when she's drunk, that isn't really her, it's a disease, it's the poison in her speaking, but it also doesn't diminish the things that she says and does. And so for years I've navigated like going, okay, I'm not going to talk to you until you get sober, and she won't get sober, so I end up talking to her again. Or like there's all these different routes and like decision making that I'll make on my end to kind of just like cut her out of my life, just hoping that she'll like quit drinking. But I think I finally at peace knowing that she'll probably always be a drinker, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just hard to navigate having a relationship with someone that is you don't know what you're gonna get when you call them. And she definitely isn't as bad as she used to be. Like, she's come a very, very long way. Like, she's a lot better now for sure. Like, it's a lot easier to maintain a relationship, but it's still just in the back burner. Like, I know that like we've had a lot of trauma from that we haven't properly addressed. So we have a better relationship than me and my dad, which is like crazy. But I also think it's because she's more understanding because she has gone through a lot as well. She just chooses to deal with her pain by drinking. So, yeah.
What do you think about the saying that there is some truth in the things that a drunk person says?
Honestly, I agree. Because, I don't know, I think that people love to, like, use alcohol as, like, this mask to, like, be a certain person and be like, but I was drunk, like, it was the alcohol. But when I get drunk, like, I don't have thoughts or evil thoughts. I don't think to do evil things. I don't get angry. Like, I think it brings out, like, a side of people, and they like to use the alcohol to mask it, because, like, my mom has said things that she's always, like, told me she never actually means, but the way that it gets brought up and, like, the things that she insinuates, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think you're just saying your true feelings right now, but you can hide it by being like, I was drunk, because, like,
it's a scapegoat.
It's a scapegoat, 100%. So
you think the resentment comes out and there's just no filter at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think that it's obviously people, like, use alcohol as a way to, like, you know, for people more shy and reserved, it's nice to, like, get a little open. So, like, that's already a thing that people know. So I feel like when you're pushing the limits and drinking that much, like, you're just turning your mind off, and, like, those are just, like, your thoughts. And there is a case in point to be said that, like, you can be influenced, like, you know, depending on, like, where you're at with your drunkenness. But I think that a lot of the things that people say and do, like, when they're fucked up is, like, it's a scapegoat, honestly. Because I just think about me when I get drunk, and, like, I don't go around, like, saying things that I would never say sober, unless, like, I don't think I've ever, like, I'm trying to, like, think, like, there's never been a time where I've been so belligerently drunk. Like, all I'll do is just fucking can't walk, and I'm, like, a mess in that sense. But I'm not over here, like, finding one of my friends being like, I actually fucking hate you, and then the next day being like, no, dude, I was joking. Like, what? That was a joke.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Having had this experience with an alcoholic mother, how is your relationship with alcohol?
Yeah, so I'll be honest, I always hated, like, the biggest thing that my dad and, like, people in my life would use is, like, oh, you're becoming like your mom, like, you're gonna become like your mom, this, that, and the third. So I had a really negative mindset with alcohol for a while, and I felt like I just couldn't drink ever, because, like, if I do, like, I'm becoming like my mom. But obviously, like, that's not the social norm we live in. And moving to Kauai, I had turned 21 out there, and on top of it, I'm living on a rock. And, like, there's a lot of different lifestyles out there, but one that's very huge out there is drinking and partying and doing drugs. And, like, that's a huge, crazy lifestyle out there. And since turning 21, like, things that I thought were social norms, like drinking after work and, like, all these little things that I was doing, like, every day, I was diminishing it as it, like, oh, but everyone else is doing it. But I definitely fell into a place where I was drinking quite frequently in Kauai, like, a lot more than I should have. And I was very, like, not receptive to it. Like, I was like, well, I'm not as bad as my mom. That was kind of my thing. Like, I'm like, I'm not, like, doing this. I was comparing myself to her. But at the same time, like, I definitely wasn't taking way more alcohol than, like, I probably should have during that time. But with that, I was using it to cope with everything I was dealing with moving there. Because on top of the sexual assault that happened from my teammate, I had, like, a huge crazy situation with my grandmother happen there, and I was basically homeless on Kauai, and that really, like, fucked with me. And coming out of that, I came out on top, but, like, mentally, like, it took a toll. So just started drinking a lot more. So I had a weird relationship. Now I'm doing dry December. Like, I'm not drinking this entire month. Like, I don't plan on touching alcohol at all. And I don't think I have a problem with it at all. Like, I would not sit here and say, like, I'm an alcoholic, but I definitely, all my friends, we love to party, we love to go out, and with that ensues drinking, and I drink to black out. So that's my problem. I, like, am not just a little, like, okay, let me take, like, two. Like, I'm here for a good time. Like, pass me the bottle. And so that's kind of been a thing that I've been aware of, too. I'm like, okay, I need to fix that. But I also know that I'm in control. In case in point, like, I can be like, okay, I'm not going to drink, and I can actually, like, stand on it. I feel like it would be a problem problem if I'm over here being like, okay, I'm not going to drink this entire month, and I'm like sneaking drinks and like not telling my friends, but I actually have no desire to drink this month, so I'm just going to do that.
Is it triggered by like, do you get anxiety or by overthinking things?
Yeah, I think that I have never properly dealt with my trauma, and I'll leech on to something to kind of deal with trauma. For the longest time it was weed. Like when I stopped being a D1 athlete, like I just smoked fat, and like it really did help, honestly. Like, you know, it can be medically prescribed, but I did that for a while, but then my memory loss just was so shot. That's when I started drinking. So it was like one or the other. And I've noticed that's honestly kind of a pattern. And I won't sit here and lie. Like, I definitely do have addictive tendencies. I would never say I was like actually fully addicted to a substance at a time. I would be honest with myself though and say that I do abuse it more than I probably should. But that's just me having very strict standards because of my mom. Because like I drink the same amount that all my friends drink every weekend, the same amount the average individual I would say in our society drinks, but I'm just aware of it a lot more, and I just have a different standard for myself, and I don't want to fall into those norms just because like that is a norm now, because it shouldn't be, in all honesty. And that's just like me speaking from growing up with alcohol parents. Like I just think alcohol is way too normalized in our society, and it's easy to fall into that norm when it's like at the end of the day it's poison, like for our bodies. But yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I used to drink a lot, and my trigger was social anxiety though. So it's like I would never like wake up and have some vodka. But like if I was at a party and I didn't know anybody, and I know where it stems from. It comes from literally like growing up, I was like the awkward, shy kid. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have a lot of friends and stuff. And my freshman year of high school, there's a new kid that comes to the school. His name's Nick. And he was like the new kid. So like, you know, they assigned someone to like show him around the school. So we like hit it off. We come like best friends, and we have sleepovers, play video games, we eat lunch together, like all this stuff.
Great buddies.
And it's like the first time in my life that I really just remember feeling like happy. Like I would just wake up, I'd be like excited to go to school and like hang out with Nick. But then over the winter, one of the football players started this rumor that we're gay together. Because we had like sleepovers, you know, but we'd play video games, you know? And back then gay wasn't like cool. Like now it's kind of trendy. Back then it was like, you do not want to be gay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, yo, like, who gives a fuck? You're my best friend. I don't care. Like, ride or die, right?
100%.
But then you feel him slowly
drifting.
Hey, I'm busy tonight. I can't hang out. And the day it hit me, I still remember, it was the first day after winter break. And so I get my lunch tray. It's at lunch. I go sit in our usual spot in the back right corner. And I see Nick from across the lunchroom. And he makes eye contact with me. And then he like looks away really fast. And he like goes and sits at another table.
Damn.
But that moment, there's two things. Like number one, it was like, I was like very hurt. I feel like I just lost my best friend.
Yeah.
But then I got this like huge wave of anxiety, like this like panic that I've never felt before, because this was my freshman year. There was like all the seniors in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the kid eating alone. You feel like everybody's going to see me being a loser.
Yeah.
So then I got up and I had my little tray and I'm like snaking around the lunchroom trying to figure out like where to sit.
Yeah.
But it's like awkward. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, my little hands are like shaking. You know what I mean? And I snake around the entire lunchroom until like the last table, because I'm like, well, now I have to sit here, you know? I'm like, hey, like, you mind if I sit here? And they all, like, stop talking, like, look at me. And they're like, yeah, for sure. And they were never mean to me. But, like, the vibe was, like, why are you here? You know what I mean? Like, this is random. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after, like, 3 days, it just became, like, too awkward. And I just, like, sat by myself like a loser. But the crazy part is, to this day, if I like go to a party and like I come with like one friend, if I don't know people there and he like goes to the bathroom, it like snaps me back to that exact same fucking feeling. Like I'm just like, are people gonna like me? And it's 100%. Like so crazy how it like comes back.
No, 100%. I think like that's definitely, for me, it's so I don't know why, like, ever since I was, like, from a young age, I never had to deal with social anxiety. Like, I've always been out there, like,
you
always.
seem very extroverted.
Yeah, which I'm, like, grateful for, but I have a lot of friends in my life who are the opposite way from me, and they'll, like, tell me, like, when they see me do things that I think are, like, so normal, that they're like, I don't get, like, how you can just do that. And I honestly, like, I just say everything, like, comes back to, like, your mindset, but, like, to the point that you were saying, like, I definitely, like, have had incidences in the past that, like, have happened to me that when I'm in something very similar, like, I automatically get transported back to that, like, exact same, like, feeling, even though I'm so far past it. And I'm like, I think that's just, like, a body's natural response to, like, trauma, and, like, something that, like, personally really affected us, you know, even if, like, in the, like, space that you're at right now, you know, like, better, and, like, you know how to handle that situation, you're still, like, it's familiar because, like, that's, you recognize it because you've had it happen to you, if that makes sense.
There's this crazy experiment they did. This was, like, back, I don't think you could do this experiment nowadays, but back in the day. So there's a certain, I don't know if it's a disease or a neurological thing of people who have no short-term memory. Wow. So, like, they'll remember their childhood, but, like, you walk in 30 minutes later, they're like, who the fuck are you, right?
That's wow. Yeah.
And they did this experiment where they put them in a doctor's office. The doctor would walk in, shake their hand, hey, I'm doctor, whatever. And the doctor would have a little, like, shocker in their hand. And it would, like, shock them, like, fuck, you know? And they'd walk out, the person would forget, they'd walk back in, shock them again. And they said after 4, 5, 6 times, the people would be like, not shake the doctor's hand. And they would ask them, they would say, why aren't you going to shake the doctor's hand? And their brain would, like, make up reasons. Like, they'd be like, oh, I'm a germaphobe, or, like, I don't know, I just don't trust them. But they didn't know why they weren't doing it. But it's like their brain, their emotional state remembered everything.
Which is so crazy. I, like, again, I think, like, I've learned, like, where I'm at now, your mindset is just so important about, like, it literally, like, dictates your life. And I'm at a point where I feel like a lot of people, I don't know, we just don't tap into it a lot. Like, our body also will be the first to tell us things. Like, I feel like our body will, like, case in point, like, them, like, knowing that, like, they shouldn't, but they also don't know why, but, like, their body's telling them, like, no, don't shake their hand. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't want to be in tune with themselves, and they don't want to listen to, like, what they know is right just because it seems unfamiliar. But, like, that's something that I've poured a lot more time into. Like, I think that, like, at the end of the day, your opinion is the most important opinion, and you need to pour it into yourself in every aspect so that, like, you can be aware when things happen and just, like, know how to handle things properly, and just, like, your mindset at the end of the day will, like, carry you through, like, everything.
You seem like someone who feels emotions very deeply.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you think it's, you know, being like an empath, do you like it because you are able to connect with people on a deeper level, or does it become kind of almost like a burden, or does it become tiring? Does it become exhausting to always be the one who's, like, feeling everybody's emotions?
I think for me, when I view as, like, myself as an empath, I'm grateful for it because I know that people can always feel safe to tell me things, or at least I hope I build that environment that, like, I'll never be the type to, like, blow up on you, or, like, I'm not an angry or, like, crash out person. Like, that's not me at my core. And I also love it because, like, I can sympathize with so many people. Like, it's so crazy the amount of people in my life who have fucked me over, and I have every right to be on this podcast and be like, fuck you, but that's just not who I am at my core. Like, I have no enemies. Like, I do not have people I hate. Like, because I understand why people do the things that they do, you know? And so I'm very grateful for that attribute to myself, because I see people walking throughout their everyday life just, like, hating on so many people and just holding this resentment and just, like, being so mad about, like, the principle of something. But I'm like, but look at them and, like, break down, like, why, because, like, I can always break down why someone does something to me, which is why I don't resent them for it. Because I'm like, yeah, you're calling me this, that, and the third, you're making up these crazy rumors about me, but, like, I understand why you're doing it. Like, you come from a broken home. Like, there's always a reason that people do the things that they do. And where I'm at with myself, like, I can sit back and look at my life outside of my perspective and empathize with those people. And so I'm really grateful for that. But with that, I also get taken advantage of a lot. And I don't view it as that because like the things that I would do for my friends, I just do because I love them. Whereas I feel like I'm not really in tune a lot of times with malicious intent that people have. And like that case in point was what we touched up on earlier. Just like me doing everything very genuinely and very like authentically. The world doesn't reciprocate that in today's day and age, and they see that and they use that to their advantage. And like that's where a lot of my trauma I feel like has insinuated from, because I just like am so trustworthy that people see that and they're like, oh, we can take advantage of that. And that's something where I'm currently at now. I forever want to be an empath, and I forever want to empathize and just like be a voice of reason, but I also have to put myself first.
Yeah.
And that's like a fine line I'm learning to navigate, because like I don't want to be I never want to be known as that stone cold bitch. Like I don't that's not who I am.
You don't want to be that person.
Never who I'll be, but I definitely have gotten played with way too many times. I've had people take advantage of me way too many times that it's like I'm disrespecting myself by allowing it to continue to happen. So I'm aware of it now, and now it's just walking that fine line of like what is okay and what isn't okay for me to tolerate.
There is a fine line.
Yeah.
You remind me of this girl I dated early when I moved to LA, and it was like the first like really beautiful girl I dated. And I remember coming from Wisconsin. In my mind, it was like, oh, her life must be so easy. She was getting free private jet, could fly out for a fashion week to Milan, all this kind of stuff, right? But when I saw her life up close and like pulled back the curtain, it was like, man, you never know what guys you can trust and what guys secretly just want to sleep with you. And even worse, what girls you can trust and what girls are so nice to your face and just praying for your downfall behind your back. And she was like similar to that, where she had like, I mean, she would have she had this friend where they were like best friends, hang out all the time for 2 years, all this stuff, and like someone was starting these rumors about her, and she was like really every day she would come home like in tears, and I would like, we're trying to figure out who it is, and it was the fucking friend the whole time. And it was like so bizarre, and like seeing her like in that moment where she's trying to be strong, and the person who's supposed to be her biggest supporter is the one who was lying behind her back, was just heartbreaking to me. It was like 100%. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, and like to touch on a point that you just made, like I don't want to call myself pretty or objectively like anything, but I've like people will see my life on Instagram, which is a fake app. I'm obviously going to portray myself in the best that I can, you know, through posting all the like grand, awesome, cool things I do. I'm not on Instagram posting like the trauma and like the adversity I faced. And like, I've only shared like maybe 10% of my lore. And like, I've been through like a shit, like my testament is here over in the corner, but like I've been through so much shit in my life. And it's so funny when I meet people who just like have like this whole image of me and they've never even talked to me, and they just like are so set on like, oh well, you have a nice body, or oh you're attractive, so like your life's on easy mode. And I'm like, bro, like you have no fucking idea, like because again, like if you want to know, you can know that stuff, but people just like want to like have an image of someone and just leave it at that. But yeah, it's crazy because that was definitely something that was like weird for me because I didn't grow up pretty. Like I was like a fucking nerd.
Oh,
like,
no way.
Yeah, okay. No. And like I like in middle school, like I was bullied. Elementary school, I was bullied. Crazy. So I think for me that was the weirdest thing because like when I finally started getting all these like friends and like people like that wanted to like be in my life, I was like, oh hell yeah. And like that's when
you're pumped about it.
Yeah, I started getting all these betrayals and just like people coming in my life just to like literally like fuck me over so hard. And I'm like, I would have died for you, and like just for what? Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
But it's crazy how things happen for a reason. You know what I mean? It's like you look, it's like at the time,
the biggest one, yes.
Like the whole so I do piano for a living. I do YouTube
Sick.
videos, and it's like the best thing I ever could have done, right? But I actually quit piano in like 3rd grade, right? And then going into college, I was like really pumped because in high school, like I didn't have a lot of friends, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, college is going to be different. I have no reputation. I'm just going to be the cool, fun, social guy. I'm going to make a lot of friends, right?
Hell yeah.
So I had this rule when I first moved in. I was like, okay, anytime there's somebody's open door in the dorms, I'm going to go and, yo, what's up? I'm Zach. Good to meet you. How's your day? Like stuff like that, right? And this is going to sound like kind of weird, but I'll get like super nervous. And I'll be like in the mirror, like, all right, Zach, time to make friends. You know what I mean?
100%.
And so I started doing this thing every day, but the problem was I was still like very awkward at the time, right? So like instead of becoming like the cool popular kid, I kind of became like the weird kid who'd come into your room. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and like
you're like, what's going on here?
And so after like a couple months of that, you kind of get the idea. You know, people are polite to you, but they never invite you. Everybody else gets invited, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was a Friday night, and I remember it was a Friday because I hated the weekends. And I'm sitting there alone in my room, and the weekends, you know, the weekdays, I have to study. I'm here for college. That's why I don't have, you know, the weekends you hear everybody laughing and their music playing, and you're just sitting there alone, right? And the bathroom, my dorm was all the way over here, and the bathroom was all the way on the other side. So if I had to go to the bathroom, I'd always go super fast because I'm like, I don't want everybody seeing I'm a loser, you know? So this Friday, I like run, I go to the bathroom, right? And on the way back, there was like kind of like the cool kids room, and I'm about to like walk past, and I hear somebody say like, oh, does anybody know that Zach kid? And so I like freeze.
Yeah, you're like, wait.
I don't want them, I like want to hear what they say. And then somebody else in the room, they were like, yeah, he's super weird. Like, he always comes in my room, and like they all start laughing and like telling their stories, and like I don't know why the fuck I cared. It's like, who gives a fuck what these like random people think? But for some reason, that shit like fucking hit me.
Well, I mean, I think there's a case in point. Like, I love to say like I don't care what people think about me, and I love to say like I'm so like in love with myself and like my process and what I'm doing, that like outside opinions don't matter. But like obviously like people care what people are saying about them, you know, like no matter how big your ego is or like how strong your mindset is, like it sucks to hear those things, especially when that's not how you view or portray yourself. And I think it's just kind of like a culture shock thing to like hear an outside perspective. But what I kind of remind myself is like they don't know you. Like,
well, here's the thing too. So what happened was I kind of got stuck out of my room because I didn't want to pass the door. I'm like trapped.
Yeah,
you know
you're like, where do
so
I go?
I was like, I was gonna go outside and just take a walk, but like I'm in like flip flops and shorts. It's Wisconsin in the winter, you know. So I go down to like the basement of the dorms, and they have, you know, the pool table, ping pong table, and in the back closet they had this. It was called like the piano room, and it was just this like upright piano in this closet, and you could like play it whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
And so I just played it for like 5 hours till I fell asleep. And then every day I hated being in my room. So I would like go to that piano and just play for hours.
Nice.
And then I got really fucking good at piano. And now this is what I like do for a living.
And
it's like, fuck. Like at the time I was like, dude, this is the worst thing ever. And now I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I needed at that
100%.
time. You know?
Yeah. And I love hearing stories like that because that's kind of how like I found the boating world. Like I literally just like didn't know what I wanted to do for work, and like I just started working on boats, and it just like all came so naturally, and now like everything worked out. But it's so crazy because I will die on the hill that everything happens for a reason. And I used to hate when people would tell me that. Like I would hate when I'd go through something traumatic and someone would be like, well, it happened for a reason. Be like, fuck you. Like this did not, like I did not, like this did not happen for a reason, but it really does. Like, and it's all about the bigger picture. And I feel like once you can step out of like the negatives that happen in life and like how bad they are and just like learn from it, that's the quicker like you will find like what you're meant to do, or just whatever it may be, find your person, like all of that, like it all kind of like ties back together. So it's nice to hear like other success stories like that.
Do you believe in manifestation?
Yes, but I've never really tapped into it. But I believe like I'm living a manifested life because I kind of say shit and like I make jokes, like, I don't know. It's just like, it's crazy, like the jokes that I'll make that end up happening. And I'm like, whoa. Like,
wait, so
case
you
in
harnessed
point,
into like the joking manifestation?
Yeah, no, like case in point.
Everybody else is like, $1 million.
Yeah.
And you're just like making jokes and it just happens.
No, I literally, like, it's crazy that like you guys reached out to me because I was just telling my friends like how I was joking. I was like, bro, like I need to get on a podcast, dude, already. I just need to yap my ass off.
Yeah.
And then a podcast reaches out to me, but I wouldn't tie that into manifestation. But then I'm like, no, but like I put it out there, you know? So it's like, but I've never really like dwelled into it to where the fact where I like, the only thing I would say I've done is like I've written a vision statement and like I believe that that's going to come true. Like what I've written on that paper, like I want it to come true, but I've never actually like fully dwelled into the manifestation side of things. I just think I am aware that our words have power and the things I do joke about come true. So I just need to be more careful of like what I'm putting into fruition. But I'm not really like deep into like manifestation. Are you guys?
I used to not believe it. And then I had a weird experience that made me believe it, but like not in the way that you would think.
Okay.
So standing in front of this big pile of leaves. It's back in Wisconsin, people like rake their leaves and shit. And the leaves start kind of like shaking. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get closer. And they start shaking faster. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like, what's going on?
And all of a sudden, this little hand pops out of the leaves, and it's holding this metallic object. And so this is like back in college, we did this student teaching we had to do for one semester. Okay. So I'm on recess duty, and this little kid, David, he pops out of the leaves, and he's like, Mr. Zach, look what I found, And he's holding, what I thought was just like an ordinary spoon, like fell out of some kid's lunchbox, you know what I mean? But this kid, David, he's like a troublemaker, but like he's funny, so we kind of have a bond. You know what I mean? So I'm like, David, that's not an ordinary spoon. I'm like, that's the spoon of power. And I see his eyes get really big. He gets this grin on his face. This little kid. And he starts running, just books it with the spoon. So I'm chasing him, trying to get the spoon back. Right? I'm chasing him up the slide and through the monkey bars, and it's kind of fun. He's laughing. Yeah. But then, oh shit, we get back to the classroom. I'm teaching. I'm writing on the whiteboard, and I glance over. And this kid has the spoon on the edge of his desk, and he has this little smirk on his face. I'm scared. Like he's just daring me to try to get the spoon. Yeah. And he's in the front row, so he's like just out of reach. Yeah, you're just like, I can just grab that real quick. So I'm like, I have one eye on the whiteboard, and I got like one eye on the spoon. And he has like one eye in his textbook and one eye on the spoon. And we have this like standoff in class. So I have this plan. I'm like, okay, David, he has the attention span of a goldfish. Once they start doing their homework, I'll sneak up behind them and I'll grab the spoon, right? Yeah. So the kids start doing their homework. I start meandering around the classroom, helping the kids, and I slowly make my way till I'm right behind his desk. And I jump out, and the spoon's gone. I'm like, what the fuck? And he turns around and he goes, you didn't think I was just going to leave it for there, did you? And I look in 3 desks over. They must have like passed the spoon. No. And this kid, Jimmy, holds up the spoon like a trophy. And the class goes crazy. Dude. It's like in Gladiator when he pulls up the skull and like, everybody's cheering.
Dude, I know that he was hype.
Yeah, so the next few weeks, it becomes this like little inside joke of the class. I'm always trying to get the spoon. Yeah. The kids are hiding it. They put out like decoy spoons for me, And I thought it was just a fun game. Yeah. Until one day, it's a Friday, David shows up with the spoon on a chain around his neck. And I'm like,
dripped out. He's like, yeah, this, no biggie.
I'm like, David, how'd you? He's like, my dad drilled the hole. My mom gave me the chain. And he's like swinging this thing around. Yeah. He's like the spoon of power.
It's his pride and joy.
Yeah, and the kids are loving it. Yeah. They're calling King David. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I know it was a Friday because Friday was always quiz day. And there was this little girl, Elsie, who would just freak out anytime we had a quiz. She'd have like these mini panic attacks and start like going. So like usual, I'm like kneeling by her desk. I'm like, look, just do your best. It's going to be okay. Usually I can calm her down within like 2 minutes. Today, it's like 5 minutes go by, 10, 15 minutes. And I'm like, am I going to have to call the nurse? Like the guidance counselor? Fuck. And David walks up behind me and he's like, Mr. Zach, I think this might help. And he takes off the spoon and he puts it around her neck. And instantly she calms down. I watch her breathing go back to normal. And she does the best she's ever done on a quiz before. Wow. The next day, or no, this is like 3-4 days later, Michael, this other kid, his grandfather passed away. And when he's coming back to class, David's waiting for him by the door. And when he comes in, David gives him the spoon and says, I think you could use this the next couple of days. And for the rest of the semester,
oh my gosh,
these kids, it's like anytime anybody's getting bullied or stressed or anxiety, that goddamn spoon finds a way around their neck. And so the last day of class, I'm sitting, I have all the kids on the floor in front of me, and I'm explaining to them how, this is our last day together as a family. And like, it really does feel like a family. Like you bond with these kids,
Yeah, of course.
And so I'm like, thanks for all the memories and the good times and the laughs. And I start kind of like tearing up a little bit. Yeah. And suddenly David stands up and he walks over to me and he's like, Mr. Zach, I think you should have this.
Stop. I'm going to cry.
And I was like, David, I was like, I was like, trust me, 3 months ago, I would have pried that thing from your little fingers. But I was like, look, what you did with this thing was special. It was beautiful. I was like, I think you should keep the spoon. And he shakes his little head at me and he goes, Mr. Zach, you don't understand. And he's like, next year, there's going to be new kids in the class. And when they're in trouble, I need you to give them the spoon for me. Oh. And he pulls up this little orange chair.
Oh my God. gosh.
And he gets on it so he's eye level with me.
Yeah.
And he takes the spoon off and he puts it around my neck. And that moment fucking changed me.
Yeah.
And like, I was like, this is what manifestation is. It's not about $1 million in a yacht. It's like, if you have belief in something and conviction in something that's that strong, it's like you give it real power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I definitely, like, that's why when I get so mad at myself, because I'm aware of that side of it. I want to say, like, that was such a beautiful story, but that's what I mean. Like, I've never really tapped into it, and I feel like there's a lot of, like, unwasted potential, because it goes back to your mindset and just like fully believing in yourself, like everything will work out because you believe in it, and that's bottom line all it is. So that's why when I make jokes like that are half-assed but I kind of like believe, and then I see it happen, I'm like, why am I wasting my time on like shit like this? Like, let me like actually pour into myself. But that's kind of the whole rebranding I'm currently doing right now. Like, dude, I'm doing a full rebrand right now. Like, this new year does not know what's coming.
New year,
like,
new me, baby.
No, but we're starting in December, because we're, you know, it's not even New Year. It's just like I finally like, I feel like my frontal lobe like finally fucking developed like over the past like month or something, because just the shit that has just been like finally like clicking for me, and like everything's kind of in alignment. I'm just like, dude, like I've never been more like finally motivated to like get after what I want to do. So like when shit like this happens and opportunities present itself, I'm like, I'm on the right path. I just have to like stay on it.
How old are you again?
21.
21. Oh yeah. I mean, you're just like, yeah. You said how many? Did you ever say how many siblings you have? You said you had siblings, yeah.
So I have a younger brother, I have a half sister, and then I have 3 step siblings. So a total of 5. 3
of them are from your dad's side.
Yes.
And then 2 of them are your blood from your mom and dad.
Or no, sorry. 3 of them. Okay. Well, so my dad remarried, so the step siblings are from my dad, but my half brother is from my mom. Or, oh my gosh, I'm selling this. Hi. I do not know how many siblings I have. No. So my brother is my brother from my mom, obviously, and my dad. And then my dad was married to FloJo, and she passed away. And with FloJo, he had my half sister Mary, and then my dad divorced my current mom and then remarried, and now I have 3 step siblings. There we go. All right.
Okay, so your dad only had you, your brother, and another child.
Yes.
Okay, and then the 3 step siblings are the children of the woman that he married.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. And so with your mom and dad, then it's just you and your brother. And how old is your brother?
He's 2 years younger than me, so.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
He's 19.
Yeah. I was making sure you knew. No. I was making sure you knew, so you passed. Good job.
Okay, amazing. So the experiences that you had are fucking wild. First of all, did he also experience similar situations, or is he more, I guess, I don't know, less trauma prone?
Yeah, so it's actually really interesting because me and my brother are like polar opposites. I was always like, I have so many friends, I want to go out and be with these friends. My brother's like, I fucking love video games and I'm gonna hide in my room and play video games all the time. So with that, my parents already loved him as a kid, because like he's not asking for a bunch of money to go do things. He's not asking to like go places, do all these things. I from a young age have always been like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. So with that, my brother is very quiet and very reserved, and he played the game smart. I think he saw me being the vocal, loud person I am, but also just his characteristics as well. He kind of knew how to deal with our parents from watching me, because like, for example, like when my mom would get drunk, I get the fuck you, Skylar, like, I hate you, I wish I never had you drunk, whereas my brother gets the, oh, Jaden, like, come here, like, you're so precious. And so he never had to deal with, like, that aggression side of it. I feel like I got a lot of that load, but I think by seeing how I would deal with her, he knew, like, well, that's also because you're over here being like, well, fuck you too, mom, you know, like, fighting back. And so he learned to be more submissive, where I'm a lot more, I would say, like, dominant, and, like, when it comes to standing up to my parents. But He didn't, at least to my knowledge. I would say we have like a relatively good relationship. When me moving to Kauai kind of fucked it up. Like I was kind of doing my own thing out there. But from my knowledge, like my brother hasn't endured like as much trauma as I have endured. At least I want to hope. But I also don't know if he's the same as me and has reserved a lot of the shit that he's been through. But he never really leaves the house. Like he's always home. So I think there's like trauma within that. I don't think that's healthy, but I don't want to like
But guys, it's
yeah,
easier.
you know, it's a little different. Yeah, it's a little different. But he always had his video game world and like that side of things. And that was kind of his outlet, where mine was just like not being home.
So presumably he wasn't or isn't as athletic?
So he's extremely like academically inclined, and I think my dad from a young age just knew like he was going to be fine scholarship wise like through school, whereas me, I'm not saying I'm dumb or anything, I'm very educated, but school just isn't my I hate it. Like I hate everything about it.
Street smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you guys are clever. You're clever is what you are.
You're good with people.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gonna become a real estate agent,
dude, right? I know. But for me, like I've always been very gifted at like anything I did athletically, like I always kind of like got good at. If I like put any time into it, like I was going to be good at it. And my dad saw that with me doing all these different sports than track, and he's like, she's the one. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also why we butt heads so much and why he's so disappointed in me, because his like, he genuinely believes, like to this day right now, if you were to have him on, like he'd be like, she should be at the Olympics 2028, she should be there. And he still believes that so much. And I think that's why we're clashing heads so hard right now, because like even if I could, and I don't want to deny it that it could happen, but like I'm just so far removed from like that industry and like the sports world, and I've found a new passion. But like my dad doesn't get that new passion because it's not track, and like in his mind he's like, you're throwing away all your potential, so we can't have a healthy relationship.
What's your new passion?
Boats. I really want to pursue getting my captain's license and eventually being a yacht broker. That's kind of
right. Like, you mentioned that, but why is that your new passion?
So in Kauai, when I moved out there, I originally was supposed to move out there to take care of my grandma, and she had gotten a really invasive spinal surgery. So I was only going to be out there for 3 months, and like that was going to be my caretaking. But my grandma is also an alcoholic. She was prescribed crazy painkillers on top of the surgery that she got, and it just ended up becoming a really unsafe and unhealthy situation very quickly. And one day she called the police on me and evicted me from her house, made me homeless. It was like a whole thing, and I hit rock bottom, and like I had no idea what to do, because I had called my dad telling him the situation. He's like, well, if you don't want to run track, don't care what's going on in your life. Like, so he was basically like, can't come back here. And then I'm out on this island where I don't know anyone other than my grandma. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? So I literally like went to my work the next day because I still had a job. I kind of told them my situation, and this kid like took me in, and like I was able to like move in with their family, which I'm so grateful for. But through that, everything just like aligned, and like one day I was like, why don't I just apply to work on the boats? Like I had gone out on the boats when I had first moved there as like a tour to see the Nepali coast, because like that's one of like the main like selling factors of going to Kauai, like seeing the Nepali coast. And I was joking around with the crew at that time, and they were like, dude, you should apply, like we need people with your energy, like you should do it. And I'm like, I don't know shit about a boat, like why would I apply? And then one day I was just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm so grateful I did, because it taught me so much, like, and I never would have ever thought that I would have found something like this, but it just, everything kind of like aligned all at the time. And like, I was at a really rock bottom when I started working at that company, and I honestly did not think they were going to keep me, because I didn't know shit about boats. Like, and I'm in here having to hoist the sail, free dive, like do all these different cleats, tie all these different lines, like know the winds of like points of sail, all these things. And like, they trusted me, and like, they saw like that, I don't know, like just the whole experience was so surreal, and it's the only ever thing I felt passionate about other than track. Like it's the only thing that's ever felt natural, and like I never would have like found that had everything had not happened the way it did. So
I'm curious that, because okay, even like in LA, there's a lot of people who move here, right? And I always think it's very like courageous and kind of brave to like leave your small town where you grew up, no support. But I feel like yours is almost even on another level, because not only were you leaving your entire support network to go to Hawaii, but you also left across the ocean, and you also left when your dad was like, no, I want you to stay and run track. Yeah. Like what, like about your personality or your experience made you just like, fuck it. I'm going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In all honesty, it comes back to like the island of Kauai itself, and just I truly believe like it's such a very special place, and I've been very, very fortunate to have grown up going there because my grandparents have lived there my entire life. And anytime I'd go and visit my grandparents, like my family wouldn't know, but like it'd be during summer, and like I'd be dealing with some type of shit that had happened to me during that year. And Kauai has always been a safe space for me, and I just like there's healing properties out there 100%. Like it's a very special place, and I just nothing felt more natural than when I was that broken to just kind of, in all honesty, run away from my problems and go somewhere that's just so beautiful, because my mindset at the time, it was very bad, but I was like, well, if I'm living in Kauai, like my life can't be bad. And again, I got humbled. The island taught me that's not true, you know, but it definitely like shaped me and molded me into the woman I am now. And like, I'm just grateful that I had the balls to just do it, because like I don't even know where I'd be at, honestly, if I didn't have this chapter there. Like I'm so grateful. Like I'll never shut up about like my experience out there, because it truly like it made me who I am.
I do think it's important for people to leave the nest.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And like
100%.
Because I agree the same way. Like LA, it's like if I went to move here, I would have been working doubles at the dirt factory. I went home and like visited some of my high school friends, and they took me to like the same bowling alley we've been going to since middle school. One of the guys was wearing his Letterman's jacket. I'm like, take that off, bro. You're embarrassed. Right. You're 30, bro. Like,
not
you know
high
what
school
I mean?
peakers. Yeah. No, 100%.
I got lucky though. I had a weird thing happen where this was like when I was like, I'm moving to LA. So I used to work at Jimmy John's in college. You know the sandwich shop?
Yes, yeah.
And the only reason I took that job was there was a girl that worked at the ice cream shop next door, and I had a huge crush on her.
Honestly, real.
So I'd like every lunch break, I'd go there. She'd give me some free ice cream. We'd chat, and did that for like 3 months because I had no game. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like building up the courage. Finally got the courage, asked her out, and she said yes.
Hell yeah.
So I'm like, let's go. I'm like, okay, meet me tomorrow. We both work. We both get off at 7. Meet me outside Jimmy John's. I'm going to take you to the movies. That's what I said.
Nice.
So the next day I'm making subs, but my brain is not there. My brain is, am I going to kiss her? Like, what are we going to talk about? What should we do after the movies? I'm like planning it, you know? And so 7 o'clock hits, and I look up and I see her standing there by the big windows, and she kind of smiles, waves at me, and I get this big grin on my face, you know? And as I'm about to leave, my manager pokes his head from out the back, and he's like, Zach, don't forget you have gum duty tonight. And I was like, fuck. So gum duty is once a week.
Oh gosh.
Somebody had to get on their hands and knees with the scraper and scrape the gum off the like undersides of the
honestly,
table.
At least you're getting a good little arm workout, nice little pump.
But this time I'm like looking at the girl.
You're like, worst timing.
I'm like, I can't have her see me crawling around on my hands and knees. I've been working on this for 3 months. So I tell my boss, I'm like, look, I will come in 6 a.m. tomorrow, whatever it takes. I promise you the gum will be gone by open tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, you do it now or you're fired.
Damn.
And I look at the girl and I look at him and I'm like, all right. And I fucking leave. So in one hand, I'm kind of stressed. I'm like, fuck, I just lost my job.
Yeah.
But then I'm kind of feeling like the man. I'm like, yeah, I just fucking showed
you're like,
it.
yeah,
you know, I'm
that's
feeling
right.
good. So then I'm going on a date with this girl, go to the movies. Everything's going great, right? Afterward, we go to 7-Eleven. We get those big slushies. And then I drive back because her car is at the ice cream shop. So I'm parked in front of Jimmy John's. We're vibing with the slushies.
Nice, hell yeah.
And I'm like thinking like, oh, when should I kiss her? Like waiting for the moment.
Yeah.
And like the moment is right. And I like going for the kiss. And she like turns.
Ooh.
And I'm like, and she goes, did you just try to kiss me? And I'm like,
oh gosh.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
And she goes, this is so fucking embarrassing. She literally pokes my nose like this. Like, and she's like, silly, we're just friends. And my fucking heart just
I'm so
sank.
sorry. Yeah.
And when she left, I'm looking up at that Jimmy John sign, and I just lost my job. I just lost the girl. And I remember thinking, there's 2 types of people in this world, Zach. And I'm like, they're the ones who own the store, and they're the ones who scrape the gum. And the next day, I'd always thought about starting a YouTube channel. The next day, I set my alarm for 5:45 because I want to be hitting the ground at 6. Fucking posted the first YouTube video. And ever since then, I was like, I need to go move to California where the influencer scene is and everything. So I'm like, fuck. Everything in my life is just like a puzzle piece. It's like so weird, you know?
No, 100%. It's crazy because like, you never know how things are going to work out. But I feel like one day, like, it hits you that like you can control at least majority of like your life, so like why not just like take control? So I finally had that like click moment for me a few like honestly weeks ago, so it's reassuring to hear like other people's like success stories, because I mean I would say pretty successful. So
your grandma who lives in Hawaii, she is the mother of your mom?
So she is my stepmom. So she's my mom's stepmom. My mom's real mom didn't want anything to do with us. So
your mom's okay. Your mom's stepmom is also an alcoholic.
Yes.
What are the odds of that?
I know.
And then your actual grandma, your mom's mom, doesn't want anything to do with you guys being you and your brother, or just your family? Why is that?
I don't know how much truth there is to this. I was informed like when I was younger that it's because we're black. I don't know how much truth there is to that, because my mom's like very, very white, but I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know if that's like the real story, but I don't know.
Wait, your mom is white?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, my mom's white.
Okay, got it. Okay. Well, then I guess that could be true.
Yeah.
Because then if she didn't want your mom to get married to a black guy.
Yeah, but I don't know how much truth there is to that. Like, that's just like something that like me and my brother like heard.
Why do you think that might not be true?
Well, I don't know. I just like I don't know anything about my mom's like real mom. Like we've never like dived into that like area.
Like, I don't have any evidence.
Yeah,
so
I have.
put
Yeah,
her out there
exactly. Yeah.
But what about your mom's stepmom?
She's I consider her my grandma. Like,
I know, but why does it, like, did you ever ask her? Like,
no,
okay.
It just never got brought up.
Got it. So she happens to be an alcoholic somehow. And, coincidentally, I guess.
Yeah.
And then she kicked you out by calling the cops. And so, okay, how did that all happen? Because that just seems kind of insane.
No, literally, trust me. It's like I still cannot believe like how everything went down. So basically, the first month that I was there, she was bedridden. Like, she couldn't leave her bed at all. So she was just drinking and taking these pills, but like she couldn't move, like she couldn't walk. So like it was fine. But once she started getting mobile and like could start moving around the house, like I never really knew what I was coming home to. Like, I would come home and it'd either be like her just being like, oh, like, I don't know what I'd do without you taking care of me, or it'd be like, you need to go back to fucking California. Like I literally never knew. So I saw it going bad, but I was like, this is my grandma. Like, you know, I moved all the way over here to like take care of her when I know nothing about like being a caretaker. You know, I'm like doing all these things for her. Like, she had like a property that she managed. I was helping her like do all the yard work and the landscaping for it, running her errands. Like, I was doing so much for her, and like that doesn't include like all the personal stuff as well. And I just remember like it was like around like the 3rd month mark, and I just like at this point I was scared for like what everything meant. Like, I thought like I just didn't know what was happening, but I knew something was gonna happen soon, but not to this degree. So I come home after like busting my ass off. I literally, at this point, I had 2 jobs. I was working at a country club, and then I was working at an acai bowl place. So I would work at the acai bowl place in the morning, have a 1-hour break, go to the country club, because I just never wanted to be home, because I was like, if I'm not home, like, there's no problem to be had.
No friction, yeah.
Yeah. So I come home, and she's just drunk as hell on the couch, and I have the whole thing recorded, because like I just knew. And basically she just is like, all right, like, you need to pack your shit. Like, I'm tired of you being here. Like, you need to get a flight home right now. And I'm like, Grandma, like, you're intoxicated. We can have this conversation tomorrow morning when you're sober. Like, I don't want to talk about me having to go back to a home that I don't actually have with you under the influence right now. Like, I didn't even know what she was on, but like, she just like, I just, you know, sure, she's not sober.
You can tell, yeah.
So I go in my room and I lock the door. That fucking sets her off. She's like, how dare you lock the door in my own house? Like, who do you think you are? Like, you're not even paying rent. For you to lock my own door is crazy. Just crashing out, like banging on this door, like cussing me out, telling me to open it up. I'm just not even paying any mind. I'm like literally getting ready to go to bed, because I'm like, just another night of her being like herself. all of a sudden it gets quiet, and I hear the dispatch officer literally being like, 911, what's your emergency? And I'm like, there's no fucking way. And she's like painting this whole scene of like a convicted felon basically is like in her room locking themselves in her door. And I'm just like, I'm literally your granddaughter. Like, what the fuck? So I immediately, like, at the time just start like bawling hysterically. Like, I'm freaking out. I'm like, because I didn't know how it worked. I generally thought like the police were going to get there and fucking evict me because I had no idea because I wasn't paying rent. So I immediately am like, okay, shit's hit the fan. Like, I'm calling my dad. Like, we're not on good terms right now because I'm not running track, but like, there's no way he's not gonna like let me come back given the circumstance. So I couldn't even call him. I have to call my brother to be like, Jaden, give the phone to dad. Like, he wouldn't even answer my call. Immediately he's like, what? I'm like, Dad, like, I don't know what's going on, but like, Grandma just called the police on me. Like, I think she's getting them to evict me. Like, I just need to know, like, if this goes south, like, I can come back home. And he's like, no, like, you chose to move out there. Like, you're an adult now. Like, you're doing your adult things, and that's not track. So that's on you to figure out. Hangs up on me. So I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right. And I knew no matter what, I could come back to California because, like, I'm from here. I could couch surf. I have so many amazing connections and friends. I would have been fine. But, like, that's, like, my real safety net, you know, like, family at the end of the day. Like, even though we don't have a good relationship, like, I would hope I could fall back on him.
Or so you'd think.
Yeah. And so fast forward, the cops arrive, and I just got off the phone with my dad. So I'm even more distraught and like in distress. And 2 officers arrive on scene. One talks to my grandma, one talks to me. And I just remember like being so grateful that like, one, I'm not a liar, but I also like keep evidence of things. Like when I know shit's gonna hit the fan, because I've been in like shit in the past before where like I didn't have evidence and it came down to he said, she said, and I always end up getting fucked over. So I had video evidence of like how crazy she was. I have voice recordings, and I just showed the officer, and they're like, look, like we already were worried coming into the situation because you're the one that felt the need to lock themselves in a room. So don't worry. And then he basically explained me that they can't evict me. Like the police officers who arrived, they can't do anything, but the landlord can. So they reiterated it to her, and they're like, if you want her evicted, you have to get in contact with your landlord. Your landlord will be the one to actually evict her. So my grandma gets in contact with the landlord, and basically the landlord was like, we're going to give her a week to like figure this out. We're not going to just drop her on her head. So I got 1 week exactly to figure everything out. And literally, like, I didn't figure it out by the end of the week. I was homeless for a little bit, and I had an amazing group of people who like didn't even know me out there at the time take me in, and I'm just so grateful for them. Like Dom, Elijah, Kahi, shout out you guys, because literally like that was rock bottom, because it was either be homeless on an island where I barely knew anyone, had no connections, or be homeless back here and figure it out. And I chose to stick it out there, and my life blossomed because of it. But it was definitely very hard to like come out of that.
What did you do while being homeless?
So being homeless is probably like a stretch. I just didn't like have a home for like a day. Like it wasn't like actually like I was like on the streets. Like it didn't get to that drastic of an effect, because like the people I had met in my life thankfully like could like realize.
So you ended up staying with someone?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Like I ended up staying with someone, and like I had a whole living situation sorted out, but like it was with people like I didn't know. Like, you know, like these were strangers at the time. Like I knew of them because like through work or like through friends, but like anything could have gone wrong just in that circumstance.
So during that week that your grandma or the landlord had given you, your grandma became sober at some point, I'm assuming.
Oh no, she made that entire week my living fucking hell. So at the time, I didn't have any modes of transportation. I had a bike that her neighbors had given. Oh my god, you guys are like a lucky
great story,
dude.
This is a great story. I'm like picturing like the Stranger Things kids like
dude,
riding around town.
No, literally. And I have a Snapchat video too. I'll have to find it and show you guys. Like, so I'm going to go to work because like I would ride my bike to work, and she literally, it's like fucking 5 a.m. bright and early, and she's like, "What do you think you're doing with that bike?" And I'm like, I'm taking it to work. She's like, oh no, those privileges are redacted. I'm like, Grandma, like your neighbor gave me this bike. She's like, yeah, my neighbor. You wouldn't know. She's like, you wouldn't know who this neighbor was if I didn't like, if it wasn't for me. And she just like kept saying that like it's technically her bike because she knows the neighbor and I don't. And I'm like, yeah, but like they gave it to me as a gift. And I'm like, Grandma, like you're already fucking me over so hard. You're gonna take away my only mode of transportation right now. Like really, like you're getting a rise out of this. And she literally like. The funniest part about this all is, you guys, she's in a neck brace. Like, Like, she's literally in a neck brace. Like, you are not, like, what are you doing? And she's, like, trying to prevent me from going to work in her neck brace, holding the bike. And I'm like, Grandma, like, I'm stronger than you. Like, don't make me do this right now. Like, meanwhile, like, let's think about this realistically, but she's like dying on the hill that she's not letting me like get rid of this bike. And then I just push her aside, take the bike. And then like just the entire week, like she just would do little petty things like that to just make my life hell. Like I think she sold like my boogie board because it went missing one day. I'm like, where the fuck? Like she just made it living hell. She's like, you can't do laundry here anymore. Like she literally did everything in her power to make that the hardest week of my life when it already was. And I'm like,
but why? I just don't understand.
I wish I could tell you, but like this is just kind of like the thing with my life. Like crazy shit like this happens and I'm just supposed to kind of accept it and deal with it. But to her defense, like I think that her divorce really affected her, and like she's always been a drinker. Like that's why my grandparents got divorced. But like Kauai has always symbolized like this place of like both my grandparents being there, and like it's a small island. Like you go to places and like I even like damn, like I remember my grandpa used to take me to this spot and like my grandma, and like we'd be together as a family. And I think her staying there, she closed herself off from everyone, and just like she very much has a huge victim mindset, like huge. And I just think that played a role into like everything. And on top of it, like she's drinking and being prescribed like oxys for her spinal surgery. So again, she's just not in her right state. Like I can sit here and I've forgiven her. I will never forget, but like I can understand that what she put me through, like it doesn't excuse what she did, but she wasn't sober. So like it's not diminishing it, but I understand that like she didn't really know what she was doing, or at least that's what I tell myself, and at least that's what I hope.
This is some fascinating shit.
Yeah.
This just unbelievable. So your dad is still pushing for you to go and do track, yeah?
I think we're finally at a place now where he's accepted that that's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
And were you gonna say something?
Yeah. So the question is this. Because you talked about this whole boating situation, and like as much as I understand that this is the new thing that you're passionate about, yeah. But I don't think there's an age requirement for becoming a captain, which I'm assuming this logic has come up at some point. Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going, but keep going.
So I guess the question is, if you could do both, why not do the thing that requires you to be at a certain age, and has a clock running on it?
100%. And you know, it's something I've battled with internally for so long. Like there's some days where I'm like, fuck, like I should just give track my all and say I tried, you know? Like there's no negative in me also doing everything that comes with like being an athlete, but I don't know. I think one, truthfully, there's a lot of trauma there that I haven't, as much as I'd love to say I've haven't fully dealt with, because running used to always be my outlet. Like when I would go through something traumatic, I would run. I would go and I'd want to like go to the gym. I'd want to like go and run circles for fun, because who fucking wants to do that for a sport, you know? But now when I think of running, like I run and like shit comes up in my head. Like I'm running and I'm thinking of things that like caused me trauma, or it's just like I don't have the same mindset that I used to have with running. And then on top of it, I've just been out of the game for like truthfully like 2.5 years. Like I haven't been in peak track shape for about 2.5 years, and I'm very genetically blessed. Like I know for a fact if I just were like, okay, I'm gonna eat, sleep, track, I would see crazy results. But there is a part of me that's so scared to like, because to train for the Olympics, like I'm like, that is my job, you know, like, and I could be doing both, but realistically, like to the degree that my dad wants me to compete at, like he wants me to go to the 2028 Olympics and win gold and be on that podium, getting a gold medal.
2026.
Oh my gosh. Wait, no, 2028. Wait, is it 20? Wait, now I'm like, wait.
2028.
No, it's 2028. Yeah, LA 20.
Yeah,
no, I knew this. Yeah, it's LA 2028. But like that's right around, it's not right around the corner, but it is at the same time. Like I would have had to have like really delved into that this year. Like I would have had to have dedicated this year, but I don't know though, because my dad, he really still thinks that I could be there. So
Skylar, look.
Like,
listen,
let me tell you.
Listen, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
There is, I was an athlete, and I grew up wanting to go pro playing football, the real football, not the bullshit American football that you guys play. And I started when I was 6. Okay. And that's all I wanted to do in life. Just nothing else. I just wanted to go pro. But also my mom was a musician and she really wanted me to become a musician. So I play 4 instruments, I sang and like do all that stuff. But my dream was to just play this one sport and I love playing it. My how I perceive hard work now is very different than how I perceive hard work when I was your age. And now that I look back, I think to myself, I didn't work hard enough and I should have, even though that the reason why I didn't go pro was because I played in college, but then I dislocated my shoulder 3 times. I had 2 surgeries. I tore my meniscus. So it was just like, it was too many injuries happening for me to be able to just 100%. Move forward. Okay. So, but the point I'm trying to make is this: anything else in life that I want to do didn't have an age limit on it. Right. All of those things I could do now, I could do later on. But the one thing that I can't do is be in the same shape or the athletic ability as a 21-year-old at this point in time. Right. Do you know who Ronaldo is? Cristiano Ronaldo.
Soccer player. Yes. Yeah.
So he has essentially redefined the age that a person could play pro at a very high level. Yeah. But that just takes dedication and hard work. You're 21 years old. You're not 80.
Yeah.
there's no reason for you not to be able to make 2028, right?
100%.
You have a father who's obviously won gold medal, so there's a lot of resources there. There's your aunt, I'm assuming, so there's a lot of resources there. But the one thing that I would tell you is that once you turn, and I get the trauma, right? Like there's no way for me or anybody else for that matter, for your dad or anybody else to put themselves in your shoes.
Yeah.
Where they could it's easy for anybody else to say get over it, right? It's easy for anybody else to say, oh, just block those thoughts, right? The only person who's capable of doing it is you, but you are capable of doing it. And the reality of the matter is that you're going to turn 32, 33, 34, 40, 50, whatever it is, right? And you're going to be standing on top of that boat, riding into the fucking ocean, thinking to yourself, what if when I was 21, I did this one thing and I just got over the pain? Because I guarantee you'll turn 50 years old and the pain is not going to matter as much because it just won't matter. It just wouldn't be there. Yeah. It just won't. Right? 100%. Time will pass and you'll forget it. And one day you'll just be like, why didn't I just push myself to get there sooner?
Yeah. And honestly, like, I think the worst part about it is that I'm very aware to that. And like, it's literally, that's why it's such an internal conflict for me, because I'm so aware that like nothing negative will come out of me trying to do this. Like there's
absolutely
literally
100%.
No negative, like at all. It's just like, I'm making so many excuses, if I'm being honest, and limitations for myself. And it's all just derived from like the big what if I don't do it. And that is what's driving me more than like the what if I do. And I hate to admit it, but like that's just me being like brutally honest. Like I'm aware that I have amazing resources and I have like, you know, I have the opportunity to try for this and like nothing bad will come out of me trying. But I just have so, like, again, like, the love and attachment that I also have to the sport isn't the same. Like, it's a totally different mindset that I have with it. And it's crazy because I would say I'm the strongest ever mentally than I've ever been before. And I feel like if I utilize that and put it into a positive way into track, I would see such positive growth. But I'm just so traumatized from that sport as a whole, and like the people I've had to deal with it, the coaches I've had to deal with it, the naysayers and everything that comes with it, that I just like have blocked it off. And like it's like such a like, no, it's not gonna happen to me anymore. But it's all like just me getting in my head.
But also imagine if you did end up winning and you did end up accomplishing something great, right?
Yeah.
You will become the poster child for somebody who overcame all of this bullshit and got through it and actually accomplished something crazy. And imagine how many people in the world, how many younger women, how many younger children, whatever it is, who are going through hardship and trauma would look up to you and say, damn, if she could do it after all that, anybody can do it.
100%. And like, that's honestly where I beat myself up a lot because I feel like there was a point in Kauai where I was still very adamant about doing 2028. Like I was training out there when I first moved out there, but then I fell into those other patterns. But with that, this is the first time in my life I've ever had freedom. I've never been able to like experience the lifestyle I've been living ever. And also to this magnitude, like I'm not an anybody by any means, but like I do live a pretty cool lifestyle and I'm pretty grateful for that. And I understand that like, honestly, it's just like, it's selfish for me to say, but it's just choosing between two different lifestyles. And I just don't know, honestly, if I want to make the sacrifices I have to make to prioritize track. But it's all only because I have that what if in the back of my head. Whereas this boating thing, I know for a fact I can be successful in within like the next few years as well. So it's just, I don't know. I literally like, you're seeing like the back and forth. Like it's literally like, I'm so back and forth with it because I have these talks with so many people when I share my story and they're like, what are you doing? Like pursue this. And like, I know that I should, but I just like, I'm scared, honestly. Like,
yeah, the reality of it is with the boating situation, there's just no trauma attached to it, right?
Yeah.
It's a new thing you're going to do on your own, where and then nobody else gets to say in anything, and there's no hardship, right?
Yeah.
You just have to go through the steps, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
And sure, that's great, but that could be great anytime in life.
Yeah.
The value, the prize in winning and accomplishing something great is the pain that you have to endure.
Yeah.
If there's no pain, then there's nothing at the end of the tunnel.
100%.
Right? And so, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't become a prize. The reason why diamonds have so much value, right, is because how difficult it is to actually get them. And so, if somebody wanted to put value in dirt, they can't. Because it's just so easy. You could just go outside and grab some dirt on the ground. Like, it's just like, right? It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's pointless. So you will do this because you'll come to this conclusion on your own. But here is the only thing that I'm going to ask. And this is on film, so it's great, right? I just would like to get a percentage of your earnings, right, for this kind of pushing you into this. Right?
Okay. You'll get a profit.
You'll
get a profit.
Just make sure.
No, when I get my gold medal, I'll make sure.
No. Forget the gold medal. What are you talking about?
Okay,
you're gonna have some merch and some products and everything that you're gonna sell. I want a percentage of that. That's who the fuck wants the gold medal? The fucking $50 gold medal they're gonna give you.
You're like, fuck that.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been fantastic. You were very open and honest. So really appreciate you. And looking forward to winning some gold for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got you guys.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.